So we've been getting a lot of questions lately about what a typical day-to-day routine is as we travel on this boat. So we've tried to take a few minutes and we put together some stuff for you. I hope you like it. A typical day of boating begins the night before at the daily captain's briefing, where critical responsibilities are assigned, flow plans are established, and navigational challenges are discussed. Because of ever-changing weather patterns, the crew of the Razor's Edge goes to bed prepared for anything. What? This is not what a typical day in the Razor's Edge is like at all. Who's writing this stuff? Alright, so on a typical day in the Razor's Edge, we do a lot of dinging, and some of it is in cool areas like this in the Bahamas. In water, it looks like it's 3 feet deep, but it's actually 20 feet deep. Very cool diving and snorkeling right along the edge of these rocks. Another thing you can do in the Bahamas on a typical day is you can check out caves. There's a bunch of them. This is by far the largest one. It's so big you can actually dinghy inside of it. So this is pretty cool, but they're not all quite like this at all. All right, and there are actually a few what more, I guess you call more traditional caves. And this one here is on an island. It has a lot of goats on it. So there's like hoof prints everywhere in here. All right, but this is what I consider to be the granddaddy of all caves that we found in the Bahamas. It's, you climb up, it's a little crazy to get to, and then there's a blue hole in the middle of it. It goes right out to the ocean. People bring their dive gear up there. It smells musty and damp, and I would not put my finger in this water personally, but people swim in it all the time. It's not just a video. All right, another thing we try to do on a typical day of the Bahamas is go hiking. And there is amazingly a lot more trails in the Bahamas that go up pretty high than I possibly would have guessed. And like views like this, just tremendous. Just love it. And this is a close-up of the beach down there. And what people do is they take rocks and they spell out their boat names. So that's nice. And while there is a lot of great hiking in the Bahamas, be advised, there are no safety nets. So be careful, all you little hikers out there. Be careful. And of course, what typical day would be complete without a long stroll on a beautifully calm beach? And beaches, there are beaches all over the place. This beach right here was voted one of the top beaches in the world. The color is really cool because the sand is white underneath it. It's a neat beach. This is I think it's important during these hikes to take a little time for frivolity as well. That's some mommy duck, and these are the baby ducks. So another thing that we like to do in the Bahamas is tour storm damage. And it was Hurricane Irma or Doreen or something like that, Dorian, that came by 5 years ago. And you can't believe how much the Bahamas is still beat up because of this. It's just the repairs, they don't go as fast as you might think they would in the U.S. Okay, so this is probably the coolest thing that I personally think we found in the Bahamas. It's a blue hole that was just in like 3 feet of water. And these things, they're holes, but they're not straight down. They're kind of fissures and cracks, and they go way down and work their way hundreds of feet down. There's cool water coming up from this. The water is a lot clearer than it looks in these videos, and unfortunately I lost some of the best footage that I took because I had my fingers over the lens of the camera as I was swimming. I consider this loss of footage to be my greatest regret of the entire Bahamas trip. On a typical day in the Bahamas, we try to catch as much fish and lobster as we could. In fact, before we went there, people get me all riled up. Oh yeah, man, just walk down the beach and just pick lobsters up all over the place, wandering around. Not the case. Ultimately, I think what I'm got better at is just taking multiple videos of the same fish and same lobster from different angles and make it seem like I caught a lot more.
Let's see how it tastes.
And of course, on a typical day, the Bahamas, you gotta save time to stay fit. So quite often we would get dressed up with everybody else and we would play beach volleyball in our formal wear. Yeah, I guess I just never expected the dress code to be this harsh in the Bahamas. And on a typical day in the Bahamas, we'd always try to catch a little live concert action at one of the local venues. Not typical venue, of course, but a cool one nonetheless.
We've seen it all.
And another typical day in the Bahamas, I think one of the main things that would traditionally do would be to participate in a Jimmy Buffett themed dinghy parade. And that was always kind of the mainstay of our afternoon. I like to try and pet some of the feral cats in the Bahamas. There's a bunch of them. Okay, so this cat came up in the middle of a crowded, heated volleyball tournament, jumped up on the table, put his head down on a conch shell that was holding one corner of our score sheet. I consider this to be the most ballsy thing I've seen in the last decade. So people tend to like their boat names, and that's no different in the U.S. than it is in the Bahamas. And there's an island here where you can put your boat name on a plaque and you bring it up and you stand it up. Unfortunately, there's so many boat names there now, it's just kind of this chaotic mess. But it's pretty cool. Did I mention that a typical day we'll do a lot of cool dinging? Or how about cliff diving? Or walking out to floating beach bars? Or scootering? Or checking out bull sharks?
Oh, a third bull shark.
Or walking up historic lighthouses and checking out the view.
Oh, the handles of them.
Hi, I'm Dan Farnsworth, freediver. After a long day of freediving, I drink Coors Light by Coors. Cut. So when night falls in the Bahamas, that's when things start to heat up. You have to make sure you have enough time to hang out with Junkanoo dancers and fire goddesses. You have to be willing to embrace some of the local cuisine. And this is a conch that was just harvested. And we're going to have some conch salad in a few minutes.
Thank you.
All right, so here we are, kind of at the end of the video now. And this is kind of a special time. This is going to be kind of neat. I have a buddy who's got a buddy who's he's got some challenges in life. And whatever you think you got, this guy's is a little bit more. And he filmed the solar eclipse that happened on April 8th as best he could. So, I mean, you listen to some of the stories of this guy and, you know, it'll bring a tear to your eye. So, anyway, so here's his video of the eclipse, and I hope you enjoy it. Oh, my gosh. Okay, we're going to edit that out, so next time you watch this video, you don't have to worry about that. And in the meantime, let's just end this with something family-friendly, like how about some dolphins swimming in our bow wake. Deb, I thought you were going to vet anything he sends.
No, Dan, you were supposed to edit all of that out of there.
Oh, man, never trust anything Doug Pelton sends again.
I hear you.